Okay, hi. So this is going to be the first video in our series of how to use Onshape to CAD VEX robots. So for practice, we are going to be CADing everybody's favorite, the Clawbot. Actually, we're going to be doing this Legacy Clawbot. So you can see that it has V5 motors and electronics, but on the Legacy Clawbot sort of body. And that's just because the old parts are a bit easier to find in CAD libraries. Some of those custom one-off parts that are on the new V5 Clawbot are almost impossible to find in a library because they aren't really used in competition robotics. So we're going to do this one instead. So today we're going to be focusing on doing parts 1 and 2. And so we're going to sort of be putting the motors on these chassis rails here. So this is sort of what we're working on. So you can sort of see that these directions are almost like Lego directions. They tell you exactly what parts you need, where you're going to put them. And we all know that where we put parts matters a lot. So you're going to want to be able to really be paying attention about where screws and things are going through, which holes are being utilized in order to assemble those parts. So let's go over to Onshape and we'll talk about how to get a hold of those parts. So this is just my general Onshape account. And so the first thing that you're going to want to do if you haven't done it already is locate your parts library. So you can see that I have already located this library, but I want to show you how I found it in case you haven't done that yet. So what you want to do is from your My Onshape, you're going to click on Public right here. And then within Public, you're going to search for Automatas, Automata apostrophe S. And it will take it a second to find it because I'm filming this, and so that slows everything down. But you can see that this one right on top, actually you can see there's a ton of them. That's because many people have made copies of this library. But we're just going to use this one on top. And I'm going to click on it to open it. And really when you open it, it's just going to give you some text about how to use their library. But you can read it if you want, but I'm sort of going to demonstrate it right now for you anyway. But the main reason why we wanted to open this up is because we want to be in our recently opened area so that we can easily find it again. So going back to my Onshape, I'm going to get started with CADing our Clawbot. So I'm going to go ahead and open my VEX Robotics folder. You should make one if you don't have one yet. And within my folder, I am going to create a new document. I'm going to name this document VEX Legacy Clawbot. And I'm going to put my initials. Okay. So it's going to go ahead and make us a new workspace. So we can see that the screen that it always opens up to is what we would use to design a custom part, which we have a lot of experience doing by now. But in order to make our Clawbot, we're actually not going to be making custom parts. We're just going to be using parts out of a library. So making assemblies from those parts. So we're going to go down here to where it says assembly 1. I'm going to right click and rename this. So today we're going to be doing the chassis motors. So we're going to put chassis motors, and that's what we're going to name this assembly. Once I've done that and renamed it, I'm going to go ahead and open it up. And it will be completely blank because we have not inserted any parts yet. So let's do that. So to get our parts that we want to assemble together to start building our robot, we're going to go over here to the Insert button. And when you click that, it's going to give you some options. So we need to go, current document has nothing, so no help there. We're going to go to Other Documents. And within Other Documents, we want to go to Recently Opened. And you'll see, because we are just looking at it, that was why we did that search and found it, that the VEX Parts library is right here on top. I can just click on that, and you're going to see that it's going to open us up a whole bunch of categories that VEX Parts can be. So all of these have their own menus. That's what these arrows are for. So if you click on that arrow, it's going to open up a menu of the different parts within that category. So there are thousands of VEX parts. So if they listed them all, like we would be scrolling forever and it would be hard to find anything. So you're going to be looking sort of within the category. And so the first category that we're going to look in is the metal category, because we want to get our chassis rail that we're going to be putting our bearing flats on right now. So when I open that up, you'll see there's a lot of different options. Now, um, it would be fantastic if they named everything in this library the way it's supposed to be named by the name of VEX parts. Like a chassis rail is an actual technical term, but in this library they're calling it metal L 1x2x16 steel. So it took me a while searching through to find that. So you're welcome. I'm telling you where it is. So click on it, and then it's going to show up in your workspace, and you just click to set it down. Perfect. So I'm going to go back up and close out this menu. Next, I need to find a bearing flat. So bearing flats are located in this library in the miscellaneous motion category right here. So I'm going to open up that menu. I'm going to select a bearing flat, and I am going to drop that into my workspace as well. And so finally, the last type of part that I need to import from my library here, close that one, is in the hardware category. I need some bearing pop rivets. So I'm going to click that one, and I'm going to drop it here. So those are the three types of parts that I'm going to be using right now. And so I can green check my insert parts, and I am ready to sort of move on to the next thing. Now, if you look back at our directions here from our Clawbot build instructions, you can see that I don't just have one bearing flat, I have two. And it actually turns out that I'm not just setting up one chassis rail, I'm actually doing two that are exactly the same as one another. But I'm going to show you that with CAD, there's some easy ways to duplicate things. So rather than insert each individual bearing flat and each individual pop rivet, I'm going to show you how we can actually just copy and paste in order to get those things, right? So I'm going to go back over here. And previously, we have learned how to select things in CAD. But if you are just joining us now, how you select something is you drag a box around whatever you're trying to select, and it will highlight it yellow, letting you know that it is selected. Once you've done that, you can right click, and you're going to choose copy. So I'm going to copy the bearing flat. Now I can just right click wherever I want, wherever I think I'd like another bearing flat to go for now, and I can right click and paste as many of those as I would like. I just need two, so I'm going to leave it at that. So I'm going to do the same process with this pop rivet. So a quick reminder about pop rivets is we use them when we're building prototypes or robots for in-class learning sort of things. But if you're building a competition robot, please never use pop rivets unless you would like your robot to fall apart on the field. So just a reminder. All right, so now I'm going to right click and I'm going to copy my bearing pop rivet. And now I can do the same process and paste as many as I'd like. So I'm going to paste. I need to have 4 total. So I'm going to keep pasting until I get 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm good to go. So now I pretty much have the parts that I need in order to take this chassis rail and to put some bearing flats on it so it can be prepared for our motors, which will be coming along later. So if we go back, like I said, placement is everything when it comes to robotics, and it really does matter where you put things. Just like if you're building something out of Legos, you can't just attach the bricks however the heck. It's not going to make what you're trying to make, right? So the same thing is we can't just stick our bearing flats wherever. They need to go exactly where they are in the picture. So you can use these green lines to follow through to find which hole it needs to line up with. So I can see that this hole is on the middle row. So there's sort of a top row, a bottom row. This is the middle row. And it's not the first hole, it's the second one. That is the start of my bearing flat. And then it's kind of mirrored on the other side. So same thing, middle row, second one over is the start of my other side bearing flat. So that's where I'm going to place those. So I'm going to go back over here. And I am going to be attaching my bearing flats using this tool called a fasten mate. Fasten mates sort of glue things together is a good way to think of it. So I'm going to click on my fasten mate, and then I'm going to click the first thing that I want glued together, which is my bearing flat. So you always really want to zoom in when you're trying to select things. It will make your life much easier. So you want to kind of hover over. It doesn't matter which side I'm selecting, which hole. Okay, so I'm just going to get the first hole. See when I have those little white areas showing all the corners that there are, that's showing me that that's the back surface, which is exactly what I want. I want to connect the back surface, not some sort of interior surface, or you're going to get weird things that wouldn't happen in nature. So click that. Make sure that it shows up here as your mate connector. And once it's selected, it should show up yellow, and that'll let you know, okay, I got it. Sometimes I have to click, this is a browser-based program, so sometimes it's a little laggy, and you have to be a little patient. So then remember that I want not the first hole, but the second hole in the middle row. So that's this one. So I'm going to click there, and it should mate my bearing flat. So right now, my bearing flat is actually, looks to me like it's on the back of the C channel. So I can use this arrow to flip it. And there it just flipped right over and is attached on the side I want it to. So I'm going to green check it and say, good. All right, I got my first bearing flat in place. So now I am going to do the same process with my other bearing flat. So you might have noticed that I just zoomed way out and then way back in. That's because I wanted to reposition the thing that I'm working on. With CAD, one important thing to know is where you place your cursor is where it's going to zoom into, right? So if I place my cursor over here, it's going to zoom over there. Now, I don't want that, right? So I need to place my next mate, and I'm going to be wanting to put it on this bearing flat. So I want to put my cursor on the thing I want to select. So now I'm going to rotate it a bit by right-clicking and moving my mouse so that I can actually have access to the side of the bearing flat that I'm trying to select. So you can see the Onshape just pops me up another of the same type of mate as I used previously. It thinks it wants, it's guessing what you want to do next. Sometimes that annoys me, and you just have to exit out if that's not what you're trying to do, but just know that it does do that. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to zoom in on this bearing flat so that I can select the first hole. Now I'm going to zoom back out. I'm going to rotate my I'm going to zoom out so I can get it a little better. And I'm going to actually, I want to reposition, so I'm going to scroll over here. Okay, so I want to get that second hole. So I'm going to zoom in and then hover until I can get the surface. Those white things show you that you're on the surface. And then click. And oh, once again, look at that. My bearing flat is on the wrong side, so I need to flip it. Oh, and now that I flip it, it's kind of hanging off. So this is another thing I can do is I can rotate. And so this sort of just flips it around. Whoops. Sometimes a little laggy, so you can't get too happy with your clicking. And I'm going to green check that. So now you can see that both of my bearing flats are in place just as they look like they are in the directions. So the next thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to put my pop rivets in to hold those bearing flats in place. And they're going to go through the back. So I'm actually going to move this guy over a little bit because I can tell that will be kind of in the way. And I'm going to rotate and flip my, here actually, let me grab a couple of them. I'm going to just move them up because it will make my life easier. So let's rotate that. There we go. And so once again, my fasten mate is already opened up for me, but if you need it, you can always just grab it here again, right? And so I'm going to select the back surface of, make sure that you're getting sort of this flat rim that goes around the edge of the the pop rivet. So you click that, you want to get sort of that outside flat edge is what you're trying to grab, because that's what you want to make it connect directly to. So, and then here, what I want to do, I want to make sure I get those white marks so I'm on the surface and in the center of that hole. And oh, my pop rivet is the wrong direction. And of course, my little video is in the way. So let me see if I can move this. Okay, better. Okay, so I'm going to change the directionality. There we go. And there's my first pop rivet perfectly in place. Nice. So once again, sorry, laggy again. I am going to do my next mate, which is going to be, I'm going to stick another pop rivet, same exact process, into this outside hole. There you go. Flip you around. Green check. Very nice. And now I'm going to do the same process over on the other side here. So I'm going to sort of shift over. Let's move that video back again. There we go. All right, so I'm going to grab another rivet. going on here? I'm going to close this, mate. Try a new one. See, there we go. So I just want to select the outside rim once again, and I'm going to put it in this hole right here. Flip it over to make it go the right way. Green check. You might not have to flip yours over. It just sort of depends. You have to be flexible with CAD. That's just the way it is. I'm going to move this guy over so that when I zoom in here, it will be in a good place. So now I'm going to select my outside of that one last time. I'm going to put it in the middle of this hole. And that time, still is backwards, wouldn't you know? And click it, and we should look good. So if I move back out, I'm going to put this in the isometric view, which is a nice way to sort of get things back to a easy to work with view and to resize things. You can see that my pop rivets are all in place, coming through the bearing flats as they should. So I'm pretty darn close to having completed this. But the problem with this is I'm supposed to have two, and I only have one, right? So this is the really cool magic thing that we can do. Remember how I showed you how to select things? Well, we're going to, let's close this fastened rivet. We don't need any more right now. So I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to drag and I'm going to select this assembly that I just made. And remember how I could right click and copy? You guessed it, I can still do that. So I'm going to right click and copy 7 items, which are the 7 things that I just attached to one another. And then I'm going to right click and I'm going to paste those 7 items. And look at that. We have 2 of them. Anytime you're making something that is perfectly identical, that is how you can just go ahead and duplicate that and save yourself a headache. So that's the finish of step 1. So I think I'm going to go ahead and stop this video for now, and then we'll continue. I'll do another video for the next step.